That Bankstown traffic, man, it kills everyone.
The drivers here are just special, man.
Special's a nice
They're
way.
just annoying types.
Are they also mental midgets?
Oh, not really. They're actually just quiet. I'll give them that. But just the annoying type of drivers.
Hello, guys, and welcome to another episode of the Kennel live on Team List Tuesday. We do apologise for being so late. Traffic was horrible, and we are running a little bit late. But if you bear with us, we've got a good show planned. Today, we're going to be reviewing the Dogs and Tigers, and we're going to be talking all things refereeing. Going to be discussing is Burton the number 6 for New South Wales, and a lot of stuff around the grounds from the NRL. But before that, I'd love to give a nice warm welcome to our favourite St. George Dargans fan, Dib Talib.
Up the Dargans.
Up the Dargans. How you doing, Dib?
Good, mate. How's everyone? Big week for you doggies. Another win. Another week in the top 8. Big test this week. Expect you boys to come out firing. You know, and if he's going to overcome or survive this week, he's got an easy 5 weeks to follow. So exciting times ahead. Hopefully they stay fit.
Look, man, I think so I'm just responding to Omar. He's like, you guys being late worked out for me today. It's good to see there's some silver linings. But yeah, look, I think the Dogs were able to win. In sort of cruise control. I think that was something that I found really, really pleasing, is that at no point, even when we were down 8 points, did I feel like we were going to be we were going to lose. I was watching with another doggy supporter of a mate of mine, and he's like, "Oh, you reckon we got it?" I go, "Man, I'm not even stressed. The Dogs were in cruise control. Tigers were good. I don't think the Tigers were bad, to be honest. Credit to them. They tried hard to the very end, and that's not something that the Tigers had in them last year, and neither did the Bulldogs really. But Benji's really done a good thing there at the Tigers. And, obviously, as I was saying earlier in the week, I really wish him all the best. And I really hope the Tigers do find some consistency and some success. If you've just joined us, if you haven't been here before, please be sure to like and subscribe. If you like, what we produce, if you like this episode, share it with your friends. If anyone else likes footy, we'd love to have a chat. But yeah, Dibbo. The Adam Drewsy episode went live earlier this week.
Yep.
You unfortunately weren't there. It was a great chat. What did you think of it?
The top dog, he came in, he didn't basically mince his words. He was just up front. He put it in a nice professional way. He knows what he's doing. The club knows what he's doing. They want you to know that, basically. So pretty much saying, get on board. We know you guys give us criticism. We know you all think you are experts, but we know we're the best.
And why did we start this podcast? It's because we thought we were armchair experts, so we thought, let's start talking to people about it.
No, but look, generally, just watching Adam.
Wait, are you saying I'm not an expert?
Oh, no, you're an enthusiast. How about that? You're an enthusiast. With Adam, basically, he knows which direction they want to head in. They're going to stick by it. They think they've got the best personnel at the club. He's backing himself. He's happy to take this challenge on board, so he's going to thrive in this, I think.
Look, I think having someone like Adam Drewsy on board, it gives me a lot of confidence, because not only does he know what he's doing from a business acumen perspective, but he's a fan of the game, and his knowledge of the game is incredible. Like, talking to him off air, just the depth of knowledge that he has about all the different teams, what they're doing, how they're running their clubs, and what the Bulldogs are trying to do, and how other teams should, soon, honestly, look towards the Bulldogs to emulate some of the success that we're seeing off the field, and then hopefully on the field. It gives me a lot of confidence, and a lot of hope leading into even this season. Because what I think we're showing is that, and maybe we get into the Tigers game a little bit, but last year we would have lost that Tigers game no matter who the team was that we were playing, because we're losing, we can't come back. We don't feel like we've got the ability to come back, and the team loses that defensive edge that it may have started the first 10-15 minutes with. Whereas where I found last week against the Tigers, in the first in the first half, we sort of came out, they attacked really hard, they sort of startled us a little bit, and we found it hard to catch our breath. But then in the second half, we come out, we reassess, and I think for like 25 or 30 minutes of that game, they struggled to get anywhere near our 50-meter line. They were kicking multiple times from their 20, 30-meter line, and that is the sign of a good team that has confidence in itself. And then when you do that, you give the space for someone like Burton, who I have to say, week on week, the guy is just getting better and better. He's learning to pick his chances, run when it's appropriate, pass when it's appropriate, and I'm just love watching him. This is what we bought him for, and I'm honestly just floored at how good he's come along.
Yeah, look, I think Canterbury's problem at the moment is complacency. So they're still giving us two different halves, which is a concern. That first half, I found they were very flat. I don't think it was the Tigers doing overly well. I just think Canterbury came out, they were flat. I was thinking, okay, it's the Tigers, they're lower than us.
Plus, it was off the bye as well. I think that we lost a little bit of that momentum that we were building.
They really needed to kick up the guts. They came out of the sheds. I don't know what Serraldo's told them, but for me, what really was a signal of basically of the things to come was when they put that kick in for Josh Curran. He outpaced 3 Tigers there. He just showed her that he wanted it more. Yeah, and it just signaled the intent for me for the Dogs for the rest of the half. And Tigers were just a mess.
But I think
they were giving away penalties.
No, but you know what it was? This is what I think has been happening with teams that are playing the Bulldogs, because I saw the same thing happen with the Knights, is that the Bulldogs' defense is frustrating and choking teams out of the game. Like, you look at the way we defend,
yep.
you have no space to breathe. No matter how quick your players are, no matter how smart you think your players are, our defense and our line speed, as Jean-Pierre Tarabay, how you doing, has mentioned, is just frustrating teams out of the game. And I think that is, that's really, really good, because no matter how good your attack is, if you're getting frustrated and you don't have the patience and the fitness to go 80 minutes against a defense like the Bulldogs, you probably lose more than you win against us. That's sort of the way I'm looking at it.
I think now Canterbury's problem is complacency. So if they're going to come up against better sides that are starting to work them out, 2 halves ain't going to cut it. Especially,
you mean 1 half isn't going to cut it?
Yeah, I mean, sorry, 2 different halves. You're right. Yeah, you're spot on there. So 2 different halves. If you come and give us a first half, what you did against the Tigers, against Penrith, you won't be down 14. What was it? 14-6.
Yeah.
You're going to be down like 20-0 maybe.
Oh no, I agree with you 100%. And
then you're going to be chasing your tail. Like, even if you're going to whip them hard in that second half, I don't think you're going to rein them in. You might get this. You probably might outscore them in that second half, but what's 30-16 going to look? It's a loss.
Look, we're going to talk about the Panthers game in a little bit. So maybe I just want to sort of go over a little bit of the Tigers, the Tigers game, because I thought there was a lot for us there to talk about a little bit. You're right in that we played 2 halves. I think that if you look at the Knights game, we didn't come out flat. We came out with a lot of energy, and we controlled that game from beginning to end.
What was Connor Tracy missing again?
So he's got a calf strain.
Right, he's back this week.
He's named on the extended bench. I have a feeling that that potentially Tracy comes into fullback, because
he's got a good running game.
I thought Taff was good, but Tracy's there are levels, right? As Willie Mason likes to say, and Connor Tracy is, I think, as a fullback, a level above Blake Taff, and I think anyone else that we have in the team that plays fullback.
They're different styles.
The only one I think that could potentially do some absolute damage if he ever was to play at fullback would be the fullback from the New South Wales Cup, Josh Papali'i. Man, like, I think, watching
I reckon
Suafa'alonga from the Melbourne Storm, I think Josh Papali'i can come in and do something like that for us. He's just an excitement machine.
Haven't watched him enough. I did watch him last year. I haven't seen enough of. I haven't seen any of him this year. So is he still doing a lot of stepping and weaving and?
Oh man, he's improving. He's improving a lot. Just quickly, Jamie Teasdale saying Burton setting up Sherry. I thought that was brilliant. It's beautiful to see, and that was natural football scoring. It wasn't like, hey, we just offloaded that and hoped for the best. It was Burton ran hard, ran straight through the hole, had Speedster on his inside, had Crudden to his right, Sherry to his left, just, sort of put himself in a great position to pass it off to Sherry, and Sherry was there to finish. I do have some criticism of Sherry, though. I think he's not passing the ball enough sometimes when he gets into position. Like, there were a couple of instances in the first half where he could have offloaded to the Fox. But look, he's been out for 4 years. What he's been able to do coming back into the team, especially from a defensive perspective, I think has been great.
I'll tell you what I'd like to see. I'd like to see Sherry maybe in the 4th or 5th tackle drop the fullback, if they can manage that, and just bring back that kick return, because he's got a power running game.
He has a massive, he's really, really big.
I like to see him do stints at fullback throughout the game, like maybe 10, 15 minutes, just sort of a rotational, sort of what Flanagan was experimenting with Lomax. I reckon Sherry could be very effective. Same goes for Kiraz. They're very hard to tackle. Kiraz, you saw how many tackles he shrugged off.
Bro, Kiraz, if you're watching this, bro, you are an absolute wahash. You are a wahash. His running meters every single game, he's getting better and better. What's funny? Go.
So
Tell me.
it's all right, Jacob. You know, we're not begging you to come on.
Not at all. No. Please don't come on. Please don't come on. But yeah, look. And one thing I did notice as well is in the first half we went to the right a lot more, and Hutcho was getting the ball a lot more in the right, and I felt like our attack suffered because of it. And this isn't necessarily just a knock on Hutcho, but I still think that Hutchison, Critter, Kiraz still needed a little bit more time to gel there, and they've got Salmon there. I think when Preston was there, I think the combo may have been built a little bit better. It's not it's just think that, and they just needed a bit more time. But I found in the second half, Burton was demanding the ball a little bit more. They were going to the left more, and hence you saw some of those tries being set up.
I'll tell you what I liked in that second half. In the first half, they were going with their predictable play, and look, still do it. Obviously past the kick out, but if you notice, Nathan was always in his face. It didn't work for him, and thankfully in the second half Berta started running the ball. He started mixing it up, so that kept the defence in two minds, and it worked wonders for him. So if they're going to just keep going kick out, one out, and expect them to flatten someone, it's not going to happen all the time. Look, Tigers defended out of their skin in that first half. I just thought Canterbury weren't really extending to their abilities.
Yeah, I thought we were in cruise control for a little bit there because we knew that as soon as we put into second gear, we're going to get them.
It was just the only worrying thing I had at halftime was, were they ever going to find that next gear? And Curran came out, and I said, "Yeah, okay."
As a Doggies fan, not once did I have any doubt. Honestly,
it's frustrating though being behind the Tigers.
Oh, it is, but I just thought, you know what, we're going to get there. I had no doubt. And Mr. CBB35 has pointed out that that Connor Tracy's injury is actually a quad strain, not a calf strain. I thought it was just the flare up. It was a flare up of the previous strain that he had.
Yep.
Thanks for pointing that out. Mothman, what a good call. He says, interesting Dragons fact. Manu Brown is the first player to debut in the future.
What date was it again? June the 19th?
It's something June, yeah.
All right, looks like, what do we do? Hold a vigil or something?
Back to the future.
Back to the future or something.
Hey, the Dragons, man. Look, we'll get to it.
I think there's some...
I reckon there's a Shark supporter that's doing these, man.
Yeah, that works at... I think they've caught the culprit that's been doing it at Classic. There's somebody there that's just... Yeah, some little mole.
But I mean, surely there's some quality control there. Like,
it's some mole that's doing it.
It's just quite funny, man. Hey, moods. Yeah, the boys. Love the Palestinian flag. Now, I want to talk about Kikau, because I think... If Kikau stays going the way he is, I reckon we can pencil him in for the Dally M. This guy's Godzilla to the exclusion of no one.
I just want to give Jean-Pierre Tarabay a shout. I mean, he's been quoting us a lot. But look, hey, there's something positive he posted about Hutchie. I think he missed that on purpose. Half breaks, maybe. Yeah, I did see a bit of half breaks there from Hutchie.
Oh, that's a good point, actually, yeah.
Some of his teammates were starting to hit the line more. So, good point there, John. Maybe Hutchie can have a big game this week. Be nice to see them, beat the Panthers, to be honest. I think they'll get Belmore rocking.
We're gonna need Hutcho to be at his best, obviously, to win. Jamie Tisdale's called kick out the Fijian Rhino. He's absolute beast, and I'm just like, to compare what he was doing last year, or what he did last year, to what he's done in 9 games this year, or 8 games this year with the bye. It's just, it brings a tear to a Dogs player's eyes, because we suffered for a long time.
I think you guys suffered 7-8 years. You just go on social media and then you get some loser fans giving it to you guys for daring to be happy and being in the top ridiculous. 8. But then I love how some Doggies fans brought up their comments about like their side and all that. God forbid Bulldogs fans aren't allowed to celebrate being in the top 8. They're not allowed to be happy after being out of the 8 for 6-7 years, something like that.
And look, the mentality in the club, I feel, is that we are a top 8 team. We're not struggling to stay there. We're going to be staying there. We're going to continue to improve.
It's been lost this last 6, 7, 8 years, but anyone growing up knows Canterbury probably it was about 4 or 5 decades straight. We're literally finalists every year. So, yeah, I think didn't quite get used to that changing of the guard the last 10 years. Like there's some sides, Penrith won 3-peat. They make the finals now. They were one of those sides will probably make the finals once every 3 or 4 years. I dare say they'll probably go back to being like that in the next 5 years. Hopefully.
I love what Panthers are doing.
Any Penrith fans?
I love what Penrith is doing, and I'm a big fan of Penrith. I want them to get the 4-peat. If it's not like the Warriors, and I'm going for the Penrith, or obviously the Bulldogs. But Look, I think there's a sort of an elephant in the room that we need to discuss, and that was the refereeing.
Yeah, just before you go, there's somebody's pointing out that there's a fan that reckons Kikau and Preston are both average back rowers. That guy must be on something.
I'll be honest with you, our forward pack isn't that great, but our second row, I think, would have to be one of the best. If you put Preston, Kikau, Curran as our back row, that would, I think, on form, be the best back row in the game. I don't think there's been a better back row in the game up until this point of the year. I know that's a big call, but...
Oh, you mean this year only?
Yeah, this year.
Yeah, thank God.
I said just up until this...
Canterbury fans were about to turn on you. They were about to turn on you.
Relax, stupid Dragon supporter. But yeah, I want to talk about Casey Badger. Look, no doubt she had a poor game. 5 incorrect calls, which meant 5 successful captain's challenges, and I think it's a good thing that we got the captain's challenge. I do feel sorry for her. I think that it was a tough game to referee.
I think the pylon was over the top, and I think a lot of weak men only piled on because she's a female.
Look, I think there is that. But
she's not the first to make those sort of mistakes. She won't be the last.
Yeah, agreed.
It's like the nice kid in the what's it called, in the playground. All the losers go pick on him because they know they can put it on him. But if the tough kid that's being rude to him, they won't peep a word. Same situation.
Agreed. Jamie Teasdale said that the hip drop by Aiden Caesar should have been sent at least for a 10. Look, I agree with you. I don't disagree at all. But I think, look, she's still quite an immature ref in that, like, in terms of refereeing first grade. I think this is maybe her second year. She hasn't refed too many games.
I'll blame this on the NRL. I still believe, basically, best fit. Just I know they're probably trying to, what is it, EEO or something. Equal employment opportunity or something.
I don't think that. I think that's.
Honestly, I think she needs more time in the reserves. Like, gave her the odd game here and there, but they threw her to the wolves there, basically.
But look, to be honest, I think that the captains were coming at her the whole game, and it frustrated her. And I think she should have taken control a little bit earlier.
And I wouldn't expect any less from any captain. That's actually what I would want my captain to do.
No, I agree. But then Clemmer and Bateman were just at her face, the whole game. And I thought that was sort of annoying because, it's they're being frustrated. The Dogs are frustrating with their defense, and they thought, let's get at the ref, let's try and get some penalties and stuff, which every captain does. But Badger had a poor game. That's okay. Players have poor games. Referees have poor games. Coaches have poor games.
Criticism for that, fair enough. But the pylon was just over the top.
Look, if the NRL's back to her, look, and people are gonna hate me. People are gonna say, oh, I'm feminist, this and that. I don't care what you say. The truth is that she had a bad game, and that's okay. She's gonna learn from it. She's gonna be better for it. I don't care that she's male or female. I don't care what gender a referee is. If they've had a bad performance, I'm gonna call it out. And I think she had a bad performance, but she'll be better for it. Yeah, that's what I think. The media and the fans just need to be realistic. Like, this is her job. She's had a bad day at the office. How many people can say, hand on heart, they didn't have a bad day in the office almost once every month or once every week? Whereas these refs go out and they run hard, they train hard, and they perform. And it's not easy. So what do you guys think? Do you think that we're not being harsh enough on Casey Badger? Do you think we're being we're being too harsh on her? I don't know. I just think that I think it's bullshit, man.
I like what Ibby Dibbs come up with. So he's umpired first grade for a sport. I'm thinking maybe it might be cricket if he said first grade. Well, it could be cricket, could be, I don't know, hockey or soccer. It takes time for the brain to be able to make live decisions within a reasonable time frame. And to make the right decision, it's also muscle memory. So for all you couch potatoes at home that probably never ran it straight, there you go. You've heard it from someone that's been there, done that.
Ibby Dib, do you mind telling us what sport you umpired? Just to sort of give us an idea in comparison. Luke's made a good point, actually. Gerard Sutton is this bad every week and doesn't cop as much criticism. I actually agree with that. And he doesn't cop...
I agree.
Doesn't cop half as much criticism.
Ashley Klein, another one. He's had some absolute clangers. Oh, wow.
DJ Wayne Dog Music has is saying that we're not harsh enough. I mean, that's fair enough. I mean, could be. But I do think that, unfortunately, because she is, a female... The conversation about how bad she performed does get, reiterated again and again. So, it is what it is.
Thanks for tuning in, DJ Wayne. And then, look, Ibby's answered your question. Yep. Hockey and cricket, the two sports with the least amount of time to make a decision.
That's great
with-
insight.
That's crazy. Cricket, with the LBs and the caught behinds and all those things. That is really hard.
Yep. All right, we're going to move on from that. I just want to talk about Marnie quickly. Andrew Johns, who, I'm not the biggest fan of when it comes to his commentary, because I think he gives some great insights sometimes about how plays are made, but sometimes when it comes to talking about the drama in the game, I just think he should just stick to what he knows. But
I hate how they flare it up sometimes and make it like it's a big issue.
it was like, he's saying,
just let it go.
Marnie should have a look at his legacy.
Let
he
it
should
go.
What are you talking about, bro? Marnie is loved by every single Doggy supporter. He's the type of player you want in your team, but hate playing against.
Does Andrew Johns remember when he got dropped by Jamie Goddard? What was he doing?
Does
he
he
was
remember
niggling.
Cattle Dog?
Does he remember when he was niggling? Yeah, anyway, another thing I like from my hooker is frustrate the opposition. Michael Ennis was a serial pest at it.
And we love Michael Ennis for
Red
it.
Money is, I think, now 2-0, or is he 3-0 for the year? So
Hey, bro, he's like 10-0 at this point. That's what I think.
he's just, he's winning them all.
But, he said to think about his legacy. Here's what I think Marnie's legacy is going to be at the Dogs. His legacy is going to be that he helped rebuild the Dogs from winning spoons into a premiership force. And I strongly believe if he finishes his career at the Dogs, Marnie's going to win one or two.
I think
one or two premierships at the Dogs. You heard it here first, because you know what? Marnie is the type of player that you want with you in the trenches. The bloke is there for his team, and you can't tell me that you don't want to sit there and defend your player or run in when you're defending your player. All right, he's going to get 10 in the bin. I'm all right with that as a fan.
I'll be surprised if Canterbury doesn't have a big 5 to 10 years coming up. Phil Gould gave an assessment over the weekend, just to run it through. The Canterbury side, first grade side's in the top 8. The reserves are sitting second. The 20s are sitting second.
Yep.
The SG ball made the grand final. The 16s basically finished minor premiers. And then he basically spoke about the special pathways that he's got going for maybe about 100 of those kids. Basically, I think some will get to train with the first grade or some of these things he's got running.
And
It's just crazy reading it. I'm thinking, wow.
It's incredible, and it's all leading into the Center of Excellence as we
That's
had
right, yeah.
that discussion with Adam Drusey, where he's talking about the importance of having the Center of Excellence. And if you guys haven't seen that, I'll put the link down below for the discussion with Adam Drusey. If you're a Doggies fan, if you're just a rugby league fan, it was a great discussion, and it was really good. Really good.
The only thing I think Canterbury can go wrong from here is the retention. So they say they got about 30 stars, you can't keep them all. And then it's identifying.
If we have 30 stars, we're winning premierships, and that's all that
I'm
matters.
just saying. What I'm saying is you can't retain them all, for example, and it's a matter of retaining the right ones.
Agreed.
Like there was a 2005 list somebody showed me the other day, and I think Canterbury retained players such as Carl Fillinger, who I think they gave some.
That was the worst signing.
And then I was looking at some of the players they let go, and I think one of them was Daniel Conn, who went on to go play a grand final for the Roosters. It's just, and then seeing some of the players they kept, and I was like, wow. You can have the players there, but it's a matter of retaining them. There's always other clubs calling, And
I think what's great about what the Dogs are doing right now is that they're not going out onto the market paying overs for one player.
And they should never have to.
And I think that's the mistake that a lot of teams are sort of we made for a very long time. Let's not talk about other teams.
It's actually worked in your favour.
And now it has, but
Yeah.
I think if you look at, we could have gone out and paid X amount of dollars for Aiden Fanua-Blake or for whoever, but we've got a couple of really cracker forwards. We've got Jack Todd, Lipo Hipoi, a couple of those Seve from SG Ball. So we've got a lot of good forwards coming through, and you know what? It's good. That's all right. As long as the Doggies fans don't want immediate success, but we want to see the path to success being developed, and that's what I think is being done. So that's what I think makes us all quite happy. And Dogs have always mentioned retain the right ones. Unlike Hasler, absolutely. Let's not pay people at the back end of their contracts $6 million just so they can stay
when they're all crippled.
Yeah, absolutely. Jamie Teasdale said Franklin Pele would have been good now. I actually think that getting rid of the likes of Franklin Pele, with all due respect, is why we're good now. I don't know if Franklin Pele would have been up to the difficult defensive standard that Ciraldo is setting. And then another article that came out actually, they was talking about small ball and how the Bulldogs are sort of all their utilities are coming to are actually advantageous to the Bulldogs, and I think it's right. I think that when you have 4 big boys on the bench, you sort of lose a lot of that speed that the younger players give. Like if you look at when Morin and Haywood are coming on, they're able to defend against the big boys, but they're also able to run them around and tire them out. And I think that's being missed a little bit. So I'm just really very, very impressed that Seraldo's got the right people, or he's playing to the ability of what he has, as opposed to thinking he's a Roosters or a Storm or a Panthers, and that for me makes me very, very happy. And John Pierre has mentioned that Vaughan would have been a good pickup again. Absolutely, I think if we had Paul Vaughan right now,
I don't think you'll find anyone that will disagree.
He's the one that we probably shouldn't have let go. He would be right now. He would be fantastic. Just come off the bench and play 30 minutes.
He'd start for you still.
But I mean, imagine just having him on the bench.
Oh, mate, he'd be so good.
So good.
No, he'd be so good for you guys starting that the rest that will come on will just unleash.
Yeah, looks all the players who left from last year were dead weight except Averillo. Look, I think that you're right in a way. Averillo's sort of doing okay at the Dolphins. I mean, they had a good win against the Cowboys. But anyway, it is what it is. I do want to mention one guy that I think needs a shout out, and this is being discussed in the media very, very quickly. Now, I'm going to ask you, and I'm going to ask everyone, we're going to put a poll up. Should Burton be the 6th for New South Wales on form? Matt just said he's picking on form. Should Burton be the 6th for New South Wales on form, or should it be Hines?
I don't think Madge will get sole. Every coach always talks up like they're only solely responsible for picking the side. There's selectors there for a reason. I don't know. I mean, how does he want to roll? Like, Cleary's hardly played the last, 6-7 weeks. You got Nico Hines, who's leading the Daily M's, but then they'll turn around and say he doesn't suit playing with Cleary. Have they even played together for us to know? Is it worth giving it a try? You got Burton on the left side. He plays well with Kickow. He won't have Kickow in State of Origin. How does that work?
He'll have Olakuatu and potentially Crichton or Jake Turbo.
Please don't tell me Jake Turbo.
I mean, look, they're going to choose him whether we like it or not.
Jeez.
Honestly, Gerbo's going to get chosen whether we like it or not. Honestly, I just think that Burton, so Luke said he shouldn't be 6, but he should be 14. I think it's a good call as well because you can throw him almost in any position.
But where would you play him at 14? Like, is it just him coming on for 15 minutes?
He can come on as lock. He can come and play if there's injuries in the centers. He can play 6. He can play 7. It's just a really good cover for a big portion of the team. But honestly, I think that Cleary Burton should be the 6 and 7 for New South Wales, and I think that with all due respect, Nico Hines is playing good, but I think he's
Do they also go with that evergreen or ever-present Penrith combination of Cleary and Luai?
Yeah, look, I think they might do that, but I don't think Luai's been crash hot, to be honest.
I know. I mean, you're not wrong there, but
what
do you do?
He's performing. Yeah, I'm with you.
They just seem to win together. I mean, what do you do?
Yeah.
I don't know. You know what? This is where I'm glad that you got Madge. Or you got those coaches.
I hope he makes the tough decisions. Hope he makes the tough decisions.
And then Nick Minich chooses the same team as last year. And talks all that talk, and then finally us to get delivered.
I don't think
finally for us to get delivered Jake Trbojevic.
Geez,
he was a windmill against Canberra. I don't care what anyone says. That guy's as effective as pancakes on the field in State of Origin.
I think. Look, he's had some great games.
No, the best was when somebody went on a swearing rant against me last year, only for New South Wales to lose the State of Origin series. Thanks, mate. Hope you're
honestly,
watching.
I think that was more fitless coaching than it was the team. To be honest,
it was fitless coaching. He just never chose the right team. Like look at Victor Radley. He's consigned to the State of Origin scrap heap. That guy is made for State of Origin.
Yeah, 100%.
He's he inflicts damage. He's made for that arena. Fitler. I don't even want to mention who was choosing. Anyways.
The clutch has mentioned. Gus said there will be massive changes and unpredictable changes. Are you talking about the New South Wales team, Gus? Sorry, the clutch. Is that who you're referring to?
I think so because not Canterbury. They're doing well. I wouldn't change much of that if any. I think they're just doing well.
Because Madge said.
I think he's referring to State of Origin.
Yeah. Because Madge said that he's spoken to Raymond. He said he's in line potentially for a Blues debut. I reckon he'll be so good in Origin though.
Who's this?
Jesse Raymond from the Sharks.
You know what? I want him as. No, you weren't watching it with me on the weekend against the Dragons. I said it out loud. I'd love to see Raymond in the centres.
Bro,
he's so powerful.
Not just that. He's a grub.
He's
so
a bit of a grub. Powerful, man. I'd love to see him there.
He'll annoy the Queenslanders, and I'd love to see it. I hate playing against him when we're playing the Sharks, but I'd love to see him just annoy the shit out of Queensland.
I haven't seen enough from Brad. I know Bradman Best had a good game
last year. Not this year.
But I haven't seen anything yet.
Not this year. I don't think so. So
I still think you'll probably get a run.
Bradman Best.
Yeah, because they'll probably say, "Oh, his team's playing poor."
You think Crichton shouldn't be chosen on the
Who's
left?
the other centre?
Well, potentially Ramian.
Wouldn't you put? Oh man, Crichton could play on the wing, eh? I don't know. It's so
Or
hard.
maybe you have Turbo on one wing and Fox on the other. But then you have To'o. How do you get rid of To'o?
And then what do you do with Dylan Edwards?
Yeah, agreed.
So, they got such a tough gig.
Hey, Luke's made a mad call. I think he said Josh Curran should be a smoky for the Blues on the bench.
Is he eligible?
I think he is eligible.
Why not? He's made for that arena, of course.
He'll be fantastic.
I wouldn't say no.
Yeah, he'll be fantastic.
He scores tries for you.
Yeah, he does.
As we found out on the weekend.
But not just that. The amount of effort he puts in every week. The guy's like...
He'll chase down that ball.
He's a one-man bench. He's a one-man bench for us.
I think he's a Queenslander in a New South Wales team. He's got that mentality. He chases everything.
Don't use that language, bro. That's horrible, horrible language. As if the Queenslanders are all successful.
Everything.
Get out of my face. We just had dopey coaches who don't know what they're doing, bro.
He chases everything.
Now, so we've had a bit of a talk about State of Origin. I want to quickly get to the Dargans jersey debacle. Are they becoming a meme club, Dibbo? I know it's tough for you to hear that about your club, but are they becoming a meme club?
Without
two mistakes, man.
Without even trying. I mean, if they had any solid people at that club, honestly, I'd demand answers from the kit manufacturer.
I agreed.
I think there is someone in there doing it on purpose, but honestly, I'll just renegotiate and tell them.
But you know what's interesting?
I'd hold them accountable if they're going to sit there and not hold them accountable.
That St. George Dargans jersey for Jack Bird will actually go for more because of the spelling error.
They were gonna auction it
off.
They were gonna auction off at the Children's Hospital for about a couple of K. Now it's lucky to get $50. Well done, Classic.
No, you're mistaken, bro. That will get a lot more because of I'm telling you, because of the mistake, we'll get a lot more. You look at the coins that have all these. I don't
think anyone would want to buy something that's misspelled.
But trust me, it will be worth a lot more. It'll be a joke. So Dargans are now the new meme club. Awesome. David Fafita wants to leave the Titans. Apparently, he's talking to the Panthers, Roosters, and the Dragons.
Don't know about the Dragons. The fact that it was already announced with the Penrith, and they got room for the cap. I think he's already signed for Penrith. Does anyone else think that? It's either he's trying to play this game again with the Gold Coast, or he's definitely signed with Penrith. I mean, Roosters being Roosters, just with their dirty tactics, always seem to come in at the 11th hour to try to hijack something. St. George who?
But hang on a second. Why are you writing the Titans off? Isn't there a chance that he stays at the Titans?
No, I already said that. Either he does this every year to the Titans, ends up staying.
Yeah.
He'll either be doing that same shenanigans,
right,
or he's already signed for Penrith. That's the two I'm going with. I don't think he'll go to the Roosters. I don't know why you even brought up the Dragons. That's just it was funny to even put him in there. It's just it was honestly the editor just wanted to fill up the last few words, so he just chucked them in.
The Dragons.
Yeah. So I honestly. I'm of the opinion I think he's signed with Penrith.
Imagine that back line, though.
Because
Jaden Sewer, David Fafita, Luciano Leilua. What a back line that would be.
Yeah, what about Penrith if you chuck Fafita in there?
Bro,
I only think is some people pointed out some valid comments. Penrith lost players they couldn't pay overs for.
Yeah.
And then now they're signing this guy on something they weren't even offering near to the other players who have won him 2 or 3 premierships.
Yeah. Roosters, B Massive's just mentioned the Roosters are cashed up with all their retirees and things like that. So if they want him, they'll get him. And I think they probably might, to be honest.
I think he's a shoey for Penrith. The fact that it was talked about for 3 days and it was just mentioned he... And it just came out of nowhere.
Look, I hope he stays.
But then
with
everyone
the
else
Titans.
has jumped in. I think he's going to Penrith.
I hope he stays at the Titans. But if he does end up leaving, I hope it's to the Panthers. Screw the Roosters. They can get stuffed. Wanted to quickly mention Lee Hadjipantelis having a sook and chucked his lollies for getting kicked off the board, and he's removing.
Tough one. Because people forget he's actually tipping in $1 million or more into the club. I think Richo maybe did it on purpose because he wanted to see the backside of him. That's probably why he snubbed him or gave him the cold shoulder.
Isn't it interesting that now that Hadjipantelis is gone, right? No more leaks. We didn't find out about Taruva
it's obvious. We didn't
find out about Taruva signing with the Tigers. Get this year. We only found out about Taruva signing with the Tigers maybe a couple of days before the deal was already done. And by then, I think the deal was signed and the Tigers may have put it out in the media or got wind of it. That's what I think that, this is a good operation by the Tigers because they've had these leaks and the media has hammered them for years.
I'll tell you what I don't agree with your principal sponsor also being the chairman of the club. I don't know why. You know what? He has to tip him money to get a seat on the board.
I'm with you.
Why should he have to tip him money? Is he offering anything else besides
hang on.
money?
But the amount of exposure that Brighton lawyers would have copped because they're on the Tigers every single week is massive. You can't discount him tipping in that $1 million is not as a favour to the Tigers.
I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up being a sponsor at another club in the near future.
Oh, I think
Like-
it does wonders for his law firm. So of course he's going to be a sponsor.
Yeah.
Right. But I'm just happy to see the back end for the Tigers. I have a lot of Tigers fans, and as I say, I'm a fan of the Tigers
But
because
I'll tell you what, he took some aim at some board members. He actually outed them as cowards. So watch that space.
Come on,
Anyways,
man. Come on.
there's more to it. I mean,
Look, you're gone. Your club's been unstable now for 15 years. Just let them move on. Just let them build.
that I understand. They haven't performed. Maybe some other board members needed to go as well, not just Lee. But I just thought, he made a point. I'm tipping him $1 million, and the way Richo's carried on. But I think I see Richo's opinion.
Clean break.
I think Richo's actions tell me that he was doing it on purpose just to see the end of him.
Good.
And he got what he desired.
All right. So Manly lose a horrible, horrible game to the Raiders. I mean, that's pathetic.
Everyone thought they were going to rack up 40.
Yeah, I mean, we were thinking it's going to be
40-point
50.
win.
And then the Raiders came back and win. Warriors still playing poorly.
That
lost
KO
again.
Weeks had a great game. Wow.
Cowboys lost to the Dolphins, even though the Dolphins gifted them essentially 3 tries.
Throw the Cowboys in the bin.
Eels, the Eels are the Eels, they shit. So are the Manly Eels, Warriors, Cowboys done for in 2024?
The Manly okay. Oh man, like Warriors, are they going to tip it on? Manly, what's going on? They're showing a weak underbelly. Warriors they've switched off. They're not showing a weak underbelly. They just switched off. Parramatta, the jury's still out. I mean, Mitchell Moses, I think Para's done. You know what? All three, I think, might miss the finals this year. You just mentioned. I think so.
Manly's too inconsistent.
All three, I think you mentioned, will miss the
What
finals.
about
Maybe
Warriors?
Warriors might be the only one that can still tip it in.
But I think Sean Johnson's playing injured as well. I just don't think that he's got the same attacking flair as he had last year.
We'll use the other halves he got for the next month and let him get right. They've wasted a month with him playing injured for no results.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you.
But if you go for your top 8, so you got Cronulla, Penrith, Roosters,
Storm.
Who else? That's 4 guaranteed. Or make it. Then you got Brisbane.
Brisbane.
I think they'll still sneak in this spot.
Roosters.
Didn't we say them already?
I don't know if we did. Anyway.
Yeah, anyway, and then you know what? Souths are gone. Don't worry about them. Gold Coast are gone.
Absolutely.
I
think they've lost too
Tigers
many.
are gone.
I think Cowboys are gone. Honestly, I genuinely think.
Yeah, I think Cowboys are gone.
Raiders are gone. They just have too many injuries.
They're still winning somehow.
They are
They might
winning.
sneak into 8th because I'll get Fogarty back, in 2 months, 6 weeks?
But you know what?
They've snuck a win again.
I think it shows more about how shit Manly is as opposed to how good the Raiders are that they won that game.
And
honestly.
this is where I've repeatedly told people that, there's teams that they're not going to be in the finals this year. It's absolutely opened the door.
Yeah.
Yes, I think Canterbury can play finals this year. Just consistency is the key.
Yeah, I think if we avoid injuries, I think we make the finals. I know it's a big call. I'm a doggy supporter. I'm hopeful. I'm optimistic. We had a mad chat with Adam Drusi. And if you haven't seen that, the link will be in the description. It gives me a lot of hope. Finally, want to just really quickly go through the lineup of the Dogs and Panthers. I expected a bit of a change in the lineup, but there wasn't any. And so basically, it's Taff at fullback, Kiraz, Sherry, Crichton, Adokar, Burton, Hutchison, King, Marnie, Curran in the forwards, Kickow, Salmon, Kurt Mann in the back row, and our bench is Haywood, Hughes, Moran, and Preston. He's hoping Preston gets run this week, and then the extended bench: Famasuli, Wilson, Sexton, Tracy, and Turpin. I think what happens is Tracy comes in to fullback. Taff goes to the bench. Preston starts. That's what I think will happen.
Yeah, I like that lineup.
And maybe Salmon goes to 18th man potential. No, actually, I don't think Salmon.
Look,
I don't know, man.
I'll tell you what. The most thing first and foremost for the Dogs I want out of this is all the players to come out healthy. I don't want them to come out with all of a sudden they got 4 or 5 injuries, and let's say 4 or 6 week injuries for literally average all of them, because that will absolutely throw the season into disarray. Secondly, foremost, I want them to perform well, whether it's a win, whether it's a close, narrow loss, or a loss of, say, 14 points, which to me isn't much. You know,
if we lose by
I just
14,
wanna
I'll be very disappointed.
like say they lose 24-10 or 14-0.
Look, I don't think they'll hold us to nil. I actually think that
I was just saying, but yeah.
I reckon if
Where is the game? It's at your home ground?
No, it's in Penrith.
Penrith.
Yeah, it's in
okay.
Penrith at 6 p.m. on Friday.
It's going to be a wet game, so
Yeah, it should be a wet game.
Probably it'll work
Cleary is
good for
playing.
yous.
Cleary is named. Their whole forward pack is there. Their bench is a bit like questionable.
disjointed.
Yes,
They're
they've
losing
got
players
Jack
fast.
Cole, Lindsay Smith, Liam Henry, and Maverick Gaia. I actually think that for us, that puts us on
Wet weather as well.
wet weather as well. So we could this could be upset of the year so far if we can. Well, I mean not upset of the year because the Dogs are playing well, but I think we could definitely win. What do you guys think? Do you think that do you guys think that the Bulldogs can cause an upset? Okay, sorry, I've just lost the comments. Give me a second, guys. But yeah, so yeah, what do you guys think? Mitchell Smith saying first time with back-to-back top 8 rounds for the Doggies since round 9-10 2017.
That's good. I think you guys should just normalise being in the top 8. I just got over seeing garbage sides in there.
Yeah, just making up the numbers.
Yeah, don't be like Parramatta Eels making up the numbers.
No one should be like the Parramatta Eels. If you are a rugby league team and you have the option to be like the Parramatta Eels or get the wooden spoon, choose the wooden spoon. Choose the wooden spoon. Anyway, look, it's been a great chat. Really sorry that we were late today. Hopefully, inshallah, next week we're not going to be late. We're going to be early, and we can spend a little bit more time together. You know, if you guys please like the video, share it, subscribe, do all the good stuff. We really love all the discussion and stuff. We love interacting with you guys. So if you guys enjoyed it, please, as I say, share. Give us the thumbs up. And go ahead and watch that Adam Drusy episode if you haven't seen it. We have a really, really good one coming up next Monday. I'm not going to say who it is, but it's honestly, if you like the Adam Drusy one, you're going to love this discussion. This person is the biggest Bulldogs fan I have ever met, and they are crazy. So be sure to
So it's another one, someone else from the Canterbury breed, eh?
It is definitely someone from the Canterbury breed. Quite literally, you guys are absolutely going to love this one. But yeah, thank you for
Biggest fan
around.
ever.
Biggest fan ever, and you'll see why I'm saying that when you see the video. But it's all recorded, ready to go. We'll be releasing it next Monday. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you go, if you support the Doggies, get out there if you can. I think it's sold out at the moment. Let's hopefully have a good one. If you're playing this week, I hope your team wins. Unless you're an Eels supporter, I hope your team gets smashed. Have a good one, and speak to you soon.
Except for the Parramatta Eels.
So just a word from the producer. Ask people to like the podcast because that'll help us in the algorithm.
Yeah. So like the podcast like the live stream just right now if you can, just give it a like. That helps boost us in the algorithm, helps our stuff get watched more often. And as you know, we're doing a lot of work and we've got so many things coming up. Like we said to you guys, after Ramadan, we're gonna be killing it. And we've started and we're not stopping. I guarantee you we're gonna have some good stuff coming on. Thank you so much, guys.
And we've also got a poll up at the moment.
We have a poll up at the moment.
We want 6 more people to vote before we...
Just 6 more votes if you can. 6 more votes. Have a vote of the poll. But yeah, I just think that we're in for a big week against the Panthers. I just hope it's competitive.
I hope the boys come out healthy as well.
Look, obviously that's obviously also something that's very important. And with that, guys, thank you very much for everything. We'll speak to you soon. Have a good weekend.
Except for the Parramatta Eels.
Except for the Parramatta Eels.